Okay, this is just my top 5 of favourite boxers of all time. And at number 5 I've got George Foreman, just for his tenacity, determination, his strength, his character. He's got a very good record. Look at that, 81 fights. You know, held the heavyweight title. I think on 2 occasions, but I'm just going to double check that. There we go. Michael Moore beating Holyfield. So he regained obviously the title in 1994 in a very brilliant contest. And you know, I just think for that reason, you know, he's at my number 5. You know, I could have maybe chosen Evander Holyfield and stuff, but I just think this guy's a more formidable boxer. Maybe more, you can't really see he's got more stamina than Evander Holyfield. I mean, I think it's either himself or Evander Holyfield. I wasn't sure in number 5, but I've picked Foreman because obviously he's involved in the greatest fight of all time against Muhammad Ali. So he's at my number 5. So we got Joe Louis here. I got him at number 4, winning the gold medal there, and I don't know what that was for. Congressional gold medal. I'm not sure if he won Olympic gold, but you know, these are some of the fights he lost to: Izzard, Marciano, Schelming. I'm sure he lost to Muhammad Ali as well, didn't he? I'm sure he did. Maybe he wasn't around then. I think he was probably just around before Muhammad Ali. But yeah, I mean, that's his record as a boxer. Really tremendous. And you know, just for his enduring record of the 25 title defences, you know, held on to the title the longest. As we can see here, this is the Joe Louis, 11 years 8 months. Klitschko held on to it 9 years 7 months. So yeah, Larry Holmes making a lot of title defences there, but I've got Joe Louis at number 4. I think just for his sheer endurance, and yeah, one of the best fighters. Well, number 3, maybe not many people's favourite character outside the ring, but I think a real gladiator in the ring. You know, struck a lot of fear into his opponents just simply by staring right through them. Fought in Glasgow, I think, back in the 90s when he was coming back. So obviously I think he started off, probably the way he started his career, he could have been the best fighter of all time, but he kind of went off the rails a little bit in his personal life. Know a couple of people that were preaching the gospel in New York, and he kind of rejected that, you know, and you know, I think he crashed his motorbike and so on. He got into trouble outside the ring. So yeah, I mean, started with probably the known best trainers in the game. You know, you can study who his trainers were. Some of the best characters in the game even were involved in training with Muhammad Ali, and yeah, had a real strong influence in his early life, but then sort of went off the rails, and for that reason he's back at my number 3 of all time, because his temperament is very much in question. Obviously Lennox Lewis, he's outside my top 5. Lennox Lewis is probably 6 or 7. I thought about including him in the top 5, but yeah, I think Mike Tyson's got to be in there just for his early record, just for the fact that just how he won his early fights was just incredible. You know, he's stuck in it's stuck in our memory. All those who were brought up in the 80s, you know, remember Mike Tyson as the baddest man on the planet, and for that reason he's my number 3. Now this is going to shock everyone. Why have I got Muhammad Ali at number 2? He's one of the few people I've read their biographies. A really just heartfelt, tremendous person. You know, never mind of what his beliefs were outside the ring and stuff like that. You know, he's probably one of the first fighters to take his religious beliefs inside the ring, which you might call good or bad. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely, obviously, people rate him as the number 1 greatest boxer of all time. He rated himself as the number 1 greatest boxer of all time. He spoke of Jack Johnson very highly as well. So obviously, like, the backgrounds and the social backgrounds that these fighters came from, you know, is just amazing to see all the things they must have went through to actually get in the ring, and all the things that took place to keep him out the ring. You know, when he didn't go into the army and he lost his title, and then, you know, so I mean, a man of tremendous character, not in doubt in any way. But I think what really got to him was probably, like, recently Tyson Fury, obviously, comments within the sport itself, within the actual organisations, sort of, I think, got to him a little bit, you could say. But yeah, he's one of the greatest of all time, and I think he was obviously known for his agility, his speed. Didn't go down too many times. He went down to a British boxer once and was just almost called out, but you know, the bell went, and so, you know, he held on to his unbeaten record for a long time, but probably went on a little bit too long, you know, and that's why I would say he's my number 2, because he went on, I think, a little bit too long. He didn't maybe listen to some of his advisors, maybe to give up boxing, and you know, recently he died, and there's a few of the illnesses that was said that he had, but I think it was Parkinson's, the main one, and so yeah, he's the greatest character known of all time, and the most publicised of all time as well. So he's my number 2 boxer, and here, now, brace yourself, here's my number 1 boxer of all time. Well, rather interestingly, this isn't my number 1, by the way, but I just thought I'd mention James Jeffries has got the quickest ever heavyweight knockout, 55 seconds against Jack Finnegan. Had a very good record, and so he's not my number 1, but I just thought I'd mention that. My number 1 boxer, heavyweight boxer at least of all time, is this man. Not really due to the fact he's got a 0 loss fight record, but I think his boxing style is due to the fact that he's a fairly small man. He's not that small. I mean, 5 feet 10.5 isn't really that small. It's actually, you know, almost 6 feet, so he's still fairly big, I think, and for that reason I think he could take on some of the biggest heavyweights, you know, even though he crouched down, and he was hard to hit. But he just basically went from round to round, non-stop, swinging, fighting, but he was a boxer as well. He did have a good defence. He must have, if he didn't lose any fights. But he was hit square on the chin many times, and was never knocked out. And he came back. You seen him even behind in some fights, and he came back to win them. And for that reason, just the absolute tenacity of this man. He's my number 1 greatest fighter of all time, because he's probably a bit underrated, I would say. He's quite a quiet man outside the ring. He never brought his religion or anything into the ring. And you know, when Muhammad Ali came on the scene, he didn't agree with his very outspoken style. You know, Muhammad Ali could obviously speak a lot, and obviously had been through a lot in his life. But for the sport itself, for the actual sport itself, and for the fact that, you know, he's just a sort of average sized man, just for his sheer, I don't know if determination is the right word, but his will to win, I would say, is second to none. Rocky Marciano, and it says so, within the ring and outside the ring as well. He was an impeccable character, and for this reason, he's my number one boxer of all time. Hope you've enjoyed this, guys. God bless.